Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Mouthfools. My name is Jaymoji. I'm here with my 3 co-stars for this episode, Gabriel Gaming.
I prefer Jaymoji, please.
Dang, that's so much more clever, man. Jayboat.
No, Jayboat? Jaygoat.
Oh, snap.
Oh.
That's all I could think of. And of course, Jairus, which is actually a ship name, but it works. Dude. I should have said Jaden. Oh, why didn't I think of that?
Oh, that's not
that would have been smart.
Oh, that would have been smart. But as you can see, there's 4 of me, and it takes about 4 of my brains to come up with one smart thing. Welcome back to Mouth J. Today I'm going to be talking about the newly excited announcement regarding this new Zelda news that just came out. You know, and it gets so weird seeing 4 of me talk incredibly delayed. Like, you guys are doing the hand gestures and stuff, and it just looks like I'm in a box. It's like some dystopian thing where I'm on a TV screen and there's like somebody trying to puppeteer the thing behind them. Oh boy. So today, my other mouthfuls, oh wow, here's the men behind the masks.
I'm talking with Jaymoji right now. Don't interrupt, Jaymoji.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm having a conversation with Jaymoji right now.
Yeah. So you guys have your conversation. Let's see. We're gonna start talking about Zelda. If you guys haven't seen, it was announced that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel was delayed. What do you think about that, Hayden? Look me in the eye when you're talking to me.
What do I think about the Zelda delay?
Yeah, how do you feel about it?
I think...
Dude, I'm so like putting pressure on you with my head right next to you. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
I think that it's just dandy. Honestly, no, I mean, every 3D Zelda game has had delays apart from, I think, Majora's Mask, so it makes sense. Breath of the Wild was delayed like fucking 3 or 4 times and ended up being like the best thing of all time, so.
Yeah, that's facts. Yeah. That's the truth. I second that very strongly, if I may chip in. I think as a huge Breath of the Wild fan, you know, it was like, what, 3 or 4 years that game was delayed. Mm-hmm. So I haven't seen too many people, to be fair, actually getting mad about it. Like, surprising, like, I feel like with a lot of games, like it seemed like with Cyberpunk, oh, that's nice, just my mouth, put it over. That's great.
So that's terrifying.
My name's Fyrus, and I'm going to speak my opinion about this delay. So, see, the problem is, I feel like a lot of people aren't necessarily angry about. This is so fucking disturbing. A lot of people aren't really angry about this delay, which is really nice. You don't see a lot of people being like, "Oh, what the fuck? Like, Zelda got delayed again. I'm so mad and upset about it. This sucks." It seems like everybody has a pretty good understanding that it's gonna be a really good game when it comes out, and it might be very much worth it. I really hope. The problem, I think, though, is that the longer that it gets delayed, the more expectation is going to be out of it, and like everyone's going to critique it really hard when it comes out, which would be kind of upsetting. Now, Gab, I'm looking right at you, literally right now. I'm curious how you feel about this, and make sure you make eye contact when you're answering me. Thank you.
Okay. I'm gonna try to focus around here while I also talk to my microphone at the same time. Okay, listen to me, Jay.
Okay,
look me
yeah.
in the eyes. I know you can see me right now. And
yeah.
I think for me, the quote that I like to use with that is from Shigeru Miyamoto. A delayed game is eventually good, but a rush game is forever bad. And I think that's the best way to envision the Breath of the Wild delay, because Nintendo has that kind of... Okay, it's so weird to see myself, right?
I'm just looking at,
and I see myself up there, and it's weird.
I'm looking at like the biblically accurate angel that is Hayden's webcam right now.
Yeah,
it's terrifying.
So many mouths.
Anatomically correct angel in the corner.
I'm just gonna remove you, Jay, for a second so I can focus on talking.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, sorry, I don't mean to put pressure on you. You know.
Okay. Oh, it's so big. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, so I think Nintendo has that really, you know, like a pristine way of releasing games that when they come out, it has to be already finished, perfect, and all that. And I really respect that, you know. I think a lot of people online too. God damn it. I gotta close my screen. I can't look anymore.
Hayden and I are just gonna cause mayhem in the background of this. Okay, there we go.
So yeah, I think that it's actually a very good thing, and I believe it's for the best that we're getting Breath of the Wild later on instead of like what was their actual release date? Oh, December.
December of this year. Yeah.
I am fine with waiting until spring. It's gonna be all right.
Was that? Did they actually say it would be December of this year?
No, but everyone just assumed because everyone likes to do that.
Right.
they didn't
That's
say
true.
No, they were like, oh, it's gonna be out in 2022.
Right. I suppose it made sense though, like with all the releases with Splatoon coming out in the summer, guaranteed. And you know, with everything, it looks like we're looking at a peanut butter blender whenever I talk. Like a milkshake.
Your lips looking
spun.
mad chapped right now.
Yeah, thanks, man. I need a little bit better resolution on them. You know, I need some chat. Oh my god, what the hell was that? Oh god. I'm breaking the dude. This is like something out of a nightmare.
It's just holding Control Z. Yeah.
Okay, that looks excellent.
Subscribe to the channel. Oh, we're delaying the episode until you subscribe right now.
Oh no.
Yeah, until spring 2023.
Until spring 2023.
You're
not gonna get another Mouthfuls until then if you don't subscribe. So do it. We'll know. We'll know if you don't do it.
We're good buddy with IG Aonuma, so if you don't subscribe, we're gonna talk to him. We're gonna say, yeah, delay to summer 2023. You know?
Yeah, better sub. Lots at stake.
Because we're jerks. We do that. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that makes sense. People automatically assume because we had so many releases set up for this year up until summer. Naturally,
we didn't have a big holiday release until Pokemon was revealed. That's now going to be like the big holiday release.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think might have pushed the speculation that Breath of the Wild would come out maybe around like November or fall or around that time, which would still have been really cool. But that'd be even sooner than expectation. So it was kind of surprising today to see that it's like, oh, it's going to be spring, so earlier than, you know, the season, but spring of next year. So about approximately 365 days from now. Which, you know, is pretty right. But I'm curious, Dan, with your potion of healing as you drink it, what what are your thoughts about this Breath of the Wild 2 delay?
I'm so upset. I wanted this game now. I was really hoping they were going, when I saw the video and they were like, we're talking about the release date, I was hoping they were going to be like, it's coming tomorrow. And then I watched it, and then Nintendo betrayed me. And frankly, I am pissed and angry and pissed. Yeah, no.
Double pissed.
I'm now going to go in the Twitter replies and express all my hatred on Nintendo's tweets for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Overall, I'm plenty happy with the delay. I think we've already gotten a huge amount of games this year.
I would agree.
At least personally, it's a 10-hour game, but I'm already going to be playing Kirby and the Forgotten Lands over and over and over again for the next year. So, I don't know. I'm not, like, it was almost off my radar. Like, Breath of the Wild 2 I knew was happening, but I almost, like, I knew it was happening this year, but I was like, I don't know. It's going to happen. Like, Breath of the Wild was already such a quality game that I'm like, okay, whatever they put out next is going to be great. I'm not worried about its quality. And if they want to take extra time to put a little extra promise on it, I think they're gonna like very, very well deliver on what they're implying by this delay.
Well, related but unrelated to what you just said. I tweeted out the fuck happened to the Master Sword, and I probably got the worst reply imaginable on Twitter, and that's like setting a really high bar.
Yeah,
okay. So like, if you guys haven't seen this tweet popped off, I'm guessing, because it's got a lot of traction very, very quickly. So I posted the fuck happened in the Master Sword because in this game's getting delayed video, they showed some new footage of the game, and it shows the Master Sword looking all fucked up and chewed up like a dog toy. And then someone said in my replies, where is it? The Ganassi destroyed it.
Oh god damn it.
The Ganassi.
Oh, when you said it was a terrible reply, I was just thinking it was something like mean or rude, but I would have actually rather it had been that.
Yeah, no, so would I. That's what I'm used to from Twitter, but then someone hit me with the Ganassi, and I'm like, Why?
Oh, Lord, man, I wouldn't. You were right. That is a high hurdle, and they jumped it. High barrier to cross. I never want to. I'm never call. It's not going to stick. I'm not letting it stick. I'm not letting it stick in my brain.
I'm totally going to make a Ganassi joke when I play Breath of the Wild now, and I'm going to own it.
Can I bite the bullet? And
I knew it. He wasn't. He looked so confused. I knew he was gonna ask.
I get a feeling it's a hot dog joke, but what's Ganassi?
Okay. I will put you out of your misery. So break it down. It's Ganon. So Ganassi. Ganon. Ussie.
No.
What else can you put in front of Ussie? What? There's a letter that goes there that's been
not that
shrunk down.
Failboat, you warned me and I didn't listen. Why did I ask about the Ganassi?
The Ganassi. You can do that. People do that with anything. They'll be like, someone was playing. I think it was Vernius was playing Kirby in the Forgotten Land, and he called Cone Mouth Kirby Ganassi when he spun around. You can see the circle underneath, and I was like,
no.
I'm mad because I laughed at it, but I'm also mad because it's awful.
It's awful. It's so bad, but it's funny, and that's the worst part.
It had the same energy as Dan saying, "What is lean, and why does everyone love it?"
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
I kind of wish it was an updog joke now.
No.
Yeah.
Like, what's Ganassi? I don't know what's Ganassi about you.
That's such a wholesome way of looking at it. What's a Ganassi? Oh, it's an updog joke.
Yeah, I would have rather got gotten than disturbed permanently, but either way, it was gonna happen, right? So thank you, Twitter. Shouts out to you for that.
Shout outs to Twitter. But speaking of sorry, go on.
I can fix it. What's Ganassi? What you're gonna see about it soon.
Oh, Gab strikes back. That's why we pay him the big bucks, baby. Dan, are you all right?
You are such a dad.
I'm holding on.
You are like the most father I've ever met, and I have a father.
Did you eat today, Fyrus? It's very important.
I had a snacky. Is that enough?
It's all right. It's all right.
It's all right.
Drink your vegetable juice later, okay?
Eat your vegetables before dessert, okay?
There was something really funny about him saying, "Did you eat today, Fyrus?" And you immediately looked at the floor, like, "Oh, I mean, got some stuff."
Yeah, this just had food on it. I lied to you. I had food on this plate.
I believe that.
I had bacon, eggs, and sausage on this plate earlier, and then I put it on the ground like a degenerate. Which I'm gonna put
where it belongs.
I'm gonna put it back down on the floor. Don't tell me you also do that.
It's in my bedroom, but yeah.
Hell yeah. This
I don't have a prop on hand. Yeah.
Spoiler alert, I sleep over there.
Dude.
Right?
We're supposed to wait until season 2 to find that out. Come on, man.
But speaking of the Zelda delay video, did you guys see like the very short snippet of new gameplay they showed?
I did not.
It was like a cutscene.
It was the one with the sword, right?
Yeah, so it was the sword.
Short sword.
The short sword. And there was this shot, and then Link turned around and held the sword up in front of whatever that was. Some people are saying that's like the Triforce or something, but
snap.
I'm just curious as to what the fuck is going on with Link in this game. Because, like, I mean, we see him looking like normal, right? In the beginning with Zelda. Like, I say normal. We see him looking like Breath of the Wild Link with Zelda at the beginning, like in the first reveal trailer. And now he's got like really long hair, and he's got like this arm that's not like doesn't look like it's his own, and he's holding like a fucked up version of the Master Sword, which like I'm guessing not much time has passed since Breath of the Wild. So like, what the hell is it? What the fuck's going on?
If I may put my tinfoil hat, I think what's happening right now is that Zelda and Link are trying to break the cycle of The Legend of Zelda. Because, you know, there's always a Ganondorf, there's always a Triforce of Power, Triforce of Wisdom, Triforce, and there's always a Master Sword. And what they're trying to do is they try to get rid of Ganon, but by doing so, they're also getting rid of the Master Sword and also getting rid of the Triforce. So that's why everything's kind of dying right now because the cycle is being broken. And
That
it's
would
not
be like,
supposed-
this is the final Legend of Zelda kind of thing.
I mean, there's 3 timelines, so it's final for one time.
I suppose you're right. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, what's his name again? I feel terrible. I should know his name. And Anuma? The guy that, like, Eiji Anuma, the guy that, the director guy, the guy that, he, like, do you know his name, Jay?
I have no idea. I'm so bad with people's names. I can't even remember most of my family's names, let alone people who develop games.
Let me look up his name again. Zelda director, maybe? Dude, I cannot pronounce that. Eiji Anuma? Do you guys know who I'm talking about, right?
I think it's Ayanuma.
It might be an Ayanuma.
Yeah.
I love your theory, Gab.
Ayanuma.
Wait. I'm listening to a thing where he says it.
Listening to the...
Okay, no, he didn't say it like how I thought he said it.
Okay.
Either way,
Eiji Ayanuma.
yeah. Either way, he said something about it being not just on the ground and in the sky, but beyond. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Does that mean Link's gonna go to space?
God, I hope so, dude.
What's
That'd
the
be
deal
so
with
cool.
that? Like, is he gonna go to Galaxy? He's gonna go meet the Lumas? I don't know.
Zelda
You know-
Galaxy.
Actually, interestingly enough, there might be a correlation between what you two just said. First off, I love the idea that Gab has of like, yeah, maybe this is breaking the cycle and they have to just pull a nice unplug on the Triforce and then just ruin it completely forever, right?
You had that bit set up.
Oh yeah. So look, man, I want to be true to the lore. That's staying off for the remainder of the episode. And also like maybe there's a correlation between that and the Link going above and beyond or whatever else. Space would be dope. I would friggin' love if we had a space-themed Zelda game somehow. Maybe Ganon's got ancient technology in space or whatever. But what if maybe above and beyond actually means transcending time? So you can go into the sky, but maybe the setting isn't necessarily a physical setting, but a time-based setting. Because in the beginning, at the first trailer, like you guys were just talking about, it was a completely different thing with Zelda and Link getting lost and whatever else. So maybe he's like going back in time to the first Link and like trying to kill Ganon, like, you know, nip it in the bud kind of thing. Kill him before he goes and destroys the world.
No Way Home, but with Zelda. And there is 3 different Links. Spoilers for No Way Home, but they've already posted it all over social media, so it's kind of your own fault. But yeah, what if it's like 3 different Links? Like, I don't know. Like he finds the Twilight Princess Link, he finds the first Link from like Legend of Zelda, or like the Skyward Sword Link, and like the Breath of the Wild Link, like before the war or something, before he died, because he did die.
Like the little Toon Link shows up too. That'd be
But like,
so cool.
that is the lore of Breath of the Wild, right? He technically died, right? But he got resurrected.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. He fell to Ganon, and then they put him in the resurrection chamber.
Shrine of Resurrection.
Yeah.
Although to do some thumbs up and then go with the train wagoning of Jay's thinking about the civilization, it's already confirmed that there was a highly advanced civilization in Breath of the Wild before.
Yeah.
Whereas the Guardians are unearthed from, like, I think the Shyguy did this, so they're
exactly.
space
Yeah, the
travel.
Guardians were good, and then Ganon like took over. But
yeah.
I'm still saying no Way Home, but Zelda would be sick.
It'd be so sick, dude. I would love that.
Just like multiple different Links clashing.
Absolutely agree. And don't forget, we have already a Breath of the Wild prequel in the Warriors game, don't we?
Yeah. Age of Calamity. Spoilers for Age of Calamity. Do you guys care about that?
Please.
I beat the game.
No,
I don't know
when
if you guys.
swoosh the bad guys, but I'm like, skip the
So that's
dialogue.
not canon.
Yeah.
Oh, is
it's
it not?
Age of Calamity. So it's kind of weird. They set it up. They were like, "Oh, this is before the war. This is before Link fell. This is gonna be like," and they set it up to make it feel like you're gonna have this really sad, dramatic climax where all of the what are they called, Guardians? Like Obosa and stuff.
Divine Beast, the champions.
Oh, yeah, Divine Beast.
They made it seem like you're going to see all the champions die, and it was going to set up for Breath of the Wild, but it's a different timeline. That doesn't happen. They win.
Yeah.
But the reason it's an alternate timeline, but the only reason it changes is because the little egg guardian goes back in time, and that changes the timeline.
So they bring forward the champions from the future Breath of the Wild.
They
do all the other stuff. So in that universe, you win, as opposed to the real Breath of the Wild, where Link dies, everyone fucking dies.
because like originally, obviously the Egg Guardian didn't get sent back in time, and that timeline would have just played out and Breath of the Wild would have happened. But since the Egg guy went back in time, it created a different timeline because it's like the butterfly effect. One little thing happens, a bunch of different shit changed, and they won. And Link didn't die. He didn't fall to Ganon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I wonder if maybe they could actually play off of that and make, they say it's the sequel, and I fully believe that like it is fully the sequel, but it could have prequel elements where, you know, Link or Zelda's brought back to life, but they realize like the king is dead, the castle has fallen, the kingdom's in shambles, and they it's hard for them to rebuild it. So they unlock some type of power to like, okay, how do we undo all of this? Knowing what we know now and having the strength that we know now, how could we take the Master Sword back in time and completely slay the beast so that he never comes back? Or like I said before, going all the way back to the first Zelda game. Imagine if they did something like that, where they referenced literally the first Legend of Zelda. And like had you go back and like all the original Legend of Zelda map was like recreated somehow in the sky. Maybe that's what's in the sky. It's like broken up and floating because they messed up the time or whatever, and then it's the actual original thing, like the original dungeons and all the other stuff. I don't know. I'm just I get way too excited about shit that's probably not even gonna happen.
See, but I feel like they could definitely like reference that, but I feel like if they were to go down this route, which I don't think they will, but if they did, it would be more likely that they reference Skyward Sword Link, just because he is canonically in the timeline. That is the first Link. That is the first instance of the Master Sword, because that's like the story of Skyward Sword is the creation of the Master Sword,
right?
And the creation of Ganon, I think.
I believe so. Yeah, I think it's something along the line because it's a different enemy, but I think it eventually becomes.
Yeah, it's Girahim, I think, or something.
Gira. Spoilers for Skyward Sword. Girahim is like the enemy that summons. Oh my god, I forgot his name, but they're like Demise, right? Yeah. He's the one who eventually becomes. So maybe he becomes Ganon. I don't fully know Zelda lore. I'm very new to it.
We should do an episode about Zelda lore like properly at some point, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot to talk about there.
I got Hyrule Storia down there.
Really? Yeah, and that's our reference.
Hyrule Storia is like that big book that has everything to do with the Zelda lore in it.
Oh,
good. We better study up.
Yeah,
dude. Gru's got the short end of the stick by not being resurrected. He should have been one of the ones. Gru's only exists in the first iteration of Link's timelines.
Oh yeah,
and that's so upsetting.
There's no other Gruses.
That's so funny.
You imagine a Breath of the Wild Grus? It's just like a whole new iteration. There's
one team, you know, the music.
Fucking Beetle, whatever his name is, like in so many different Zelda games. He's reincarnated so many different times. It's so great because he's such an iconic character design.
Yeah, he's the best.
Thank you.
Oh man, Zelda's cool.
It is. It's fucking cool, dude. I wonder, like, I'm sure people have analyzed and studied the hell out of all the footage that we've seen of the game, and I know as we speak right now. By the way, we're recording this on the day that the trailer dropped, so it's all very fresh to us right now. But I'm sure as we sit here and speak, people are analyzing the trailer. Maybe a couple days from now, somebody will discover a small detail in that little crumb of a gameplay, or not even gameplay, like a cutscene or whatever. That little crumb of something that they did feature that was new. I'm sure people are studying every pixel that's possibly shown and presented that was rendered, right? But that Skyward Sword thing is fascinating, because if that's the case, have we actually looked properly at the terrain that is the floating islands and like looked at what it looks like? Does it look like broken down Skyloft potentially?
I think, see, I was talking to someone about this earlier. I think Skyloft, or most of Skyloft actually fell to the ground.
That's right. That did happen at the end.
Yeah. So I feel like it might have some references to Skyloft, but I don't know. I'm not even sure. Skyward Sword's like part of all of the timelines, right? Because the timeline split from Ocarina, yeah?
Yeah, I believe that literally is the start.
Yeah, Ocarina is what caused the split timeline. So yeah, there could be references to Skyloft, but as far as I'm aware, they all fell to the ground.
Right, but if it's a prequel where they're going back to the start, maybe they go back before that even happens. Before Girahim comes in, maybe they kill him so he can't summon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the floating islands do raise some questions because they weren't part of Breath of the Wild, right?
No, but the castle starts floating too. So there's some type of power that's making things float. I don't know. There's so many. It's just there's so much to unpack. And despite the fact that we've known about the game for 4 years, right? Something like that.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
No, you're lying.
It was 20.
Breath of the Wild 2 release trailer.
When was Breath of the Wild 2 announced? It's
might have been 2019. I think it was 2019.
Let me have a look. 2019, yeah.
Okay. What?
So it will
2019.
So it will be 4 by the time the game comes out. Despite all of that, we know very little about the game and like what's going on. And I'm sure that
we know it's got a banger theme though. You know,
it's been in my head. It's been in my head
so
ever since.
Fucking good. Wow.
It's been in my head ever since like we heard it this morning.
Well, yeah, when it starts with the shot of him falling from the fucking sky.
Yeah.
So genuinely sick.
So good.
Oh, like, god damn, that's a way of announcing. Like, well, not even announcing, just showing off gameplay for the first time.
Yeah, exactly. I think, shit, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Sorry, I completely ruined your train of thought there.
It's okay. It was about, fuck, I don't know what it was.
Triforce, Zelda.
Link, the Triforce, all those things.
Ghirahim, time travel.
Ghirahim, time travel, the sky flying.
Whoa,
things flying in the sky. I don't know. It was such a something along the lines. Oh, because it's been. I was saying because it's been so long since the we don't have a lot of details about the game, and when it was announced, despite all that time, we don't know too much about it, and so I think that like even though it's been delayed and it'll be delayed another year, in that year they're gonna have more stuff developed to tell us about, so they'll have more time to figure out how to tease it, how to promote it, whatever, during that entire time, because we haven't heard too much about it now. And if it's coming out soon, we don't even have a release date. It was coming out in November. Like, shoot, dude, like we gotta know that we don't even have a title. Like, we should have a title if it's coming out in the next couple months.
It's not gonna be called Breath of the Wild 2, is it? It's gonna have a completely separate title. That's why they keep referring to it as the sequel of Breath of the Wild 2 and not the sequel of Breath of the Wild and not Breath of the Wild 2, because it's clearly gonna have a different name. Kind of like
have a title or a logo.
Yeah, kind of like how Majora's Mask tentatively, I think was called the sequel to Ocarina of Time before it was released.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it would be weird if they printed boxes with the sequel to Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, can you imagine that's just the name?
It's a pure black screen, just like they've always been showing, pure black screen with the sequel to Breath of the Wild on the title. That's the cover art for it. Man, we can't even. I'd buy 6 copies. I don't even care. It doesn't.
I mean, I'd still buy it. I'd still play it for sure.
Doesn't even matter, dude.
I haven't played the first one, but you know, it's besides the point.
Guess what, dude? You got a whole year to get on that and enjoy it.
So, question: Does E3 usually happen in spring, or is that like a summer thing?
I think it's a spring thing.
June?
Is it June?
Okay, I know when it is, but like you're gonna have to humor me here. Is that spring or is that summer?
June is like the cross. It's like the end of spring, beginning of summer is usually then.
Early June is spring technically.
So do you think we're gonna have to wait until E3 to see Breath of the Wild 2? Or do you think it'll come out like around that period?
Oh, when the game actually comes out.
Yeah, because they're gonna have to like do some kind of showcase of it. Like we might see some of it at E3 this year, which is in like, I don't know, like 2-3 months. They might show off some gameplay of it.
Oh my god, it's in 2 months.
Yeah, it's in like 2.
That's a whole other point. You got me like, oh.
It's crazy that E3's in 2 months and they're probably gonna announce more stuff.
Yeah.
Considering how stacked 2022 is. But either they show it off in E3 or there's like a dedicated Nintendo Direct that's like, oh, this is going to be a Nintendo Direct with 20 minutes of Breath of the Wild 2 stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just curious as to when we're actually going to see gameplay, see someone actually playing the game and not like... I mean, we did. When Link was falling from the sky and he was like running through the grass, that was gameplay, but it was with like a dev cam. It was like the camera was like in the bottom right and there was no HUD or anything. It didn't look like someone was playing like a version of the game that we would play. Yeah. I'm just wondering when we're going to see that. Because that'll make it feel real.
My theory about that is we probably won't see anything this E3, I speculate. I think they'll try and focus on, if Splatoon isn't announced by then, which I think it will be, like the release date, the dedicated direct. We're going to get a dedicated direct when we get the release date for Splatoon.
For sure.
But I think by E3, it'd be too late. I think we're going to find it out next month or fucking tomorrow at this point. Like, it could be any time that comes out. That being said, I still think because they're announcing a delay now instead of announcing a delay at E3, we might not see any gameplay at E3.
I feel like, sorry to cut you off there, but I feel like the reason they're announcing it now and not at E3 is so that people don't get as disappointed, because so many people would go into Nintendo's like E3 direct thing being like, oh dude, I can't wait to see like Breath of the Wild. This is the prime time to see it. They said 2022. And then they say, oh, we're delaying it by like a year, or like we're delaying it till next year. That would there would be a lot of people that are way more sour about it than they are now, because, you know, they wanted to see it at E3.
Yeah, exactly. And it probably is. It does. I think it's the best move they dropped it now and not at a time when everyone's expecting to hear about it. Drop it when it's unexpected. And then it's like, oh, okay, fair enough. They're not going to keep us waiting. But I think because they announced that now, I feel like it's unlikely we'll get any more gameplay. But I do think if Nintendo keeps up their trend of February directs, that will be when we get real info next February, because that's right at the beginning of spring. I don't think it'll actually be at E3 next year, because I think then it'd be too late. If they're saying spring, it'd be like now. Like we're looking like March.
Too late. I'm pretty sure E3 has shown things that have either come out the week of E3 or the week following E3.
That's true. But this has been built up for so long. There's no way they just wait until the last second to be like, oh, by the way, we're dropping this. You know what I mean? I feel like they're just gonna just really like tease us hard.
Wild out tomorrow. Here's like a whole let's play of it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly. But like even for Odyssey, they teased it for a long time. They held events in New York at Nintendo of New York and stuff.
Odyssey was they showed it when they showed off the Switch for the first time, but they hadn't even announced the game. Do you remember that? Like they showed off the Switch and there was just footage of a Mario game, an undisclosed Mario game being played in the background. And everyone was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
That's not Galaxy. That's not Sunshine. What's he playing over there? And Nintendo were like stum about it. They didn't say anything. And everyone was like, you can't, dude, you can't just be like that.
And now that game is 5 years old.
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, fuck you.
Well, here we are.
Jesus Christ, man, that's crazy.
That's awful. That is just awful. That's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. Time's going way too fast. But yeah, that's my speculation.
5 years since Super Mario Odyssey, but some funny stuff happens.
Yeah. Which, you know,
God,
I don't mean to segue off of Breath of the Wild, but I do. Maybe Mario Odyssey potential sequel or something is what we get for E3, and that could fill the spot that Breath of the Wild might have had. It might be too soon to get it in November, but if I remember correctly, was it less than a year between when Mario Odyssey was announced and when it was released, or did we wait a year for that?
Because the
Switch 2017 holiday,
Switch
right?
was announced like at the start of 2017. They showed off the at the start of 2017, released it in like, I can't remember exactly, like
December.
June?
It was definitely December.
No, they didn't release the Switch in December. It was like, no, Splatoon came out in June. I think the Switch came out in like March 7th. That's it. And then Odyssey, I think, came out in October, I want to say.
I think Odyssey was December, was it not?
Mario Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey.
I remember it being holiday, so it was like December or something, or end of November.
Where is it? Super Mario Odyssey. October 27th.
It was October.
Yeah, so, I'm right, you're wrong.
It's possible. Sorry.
It was clearly a competition, and Fyrus won, ladies and gentlemen.
Clearly.
We have this recorded.
Yes.
I am holding the W. I looked it up on Google.
Treasure it dearly.
The only one I'll ever get, so I will.
I think this is where I'd put my W if I had one.
If I had one.
So, yeah, I think, I don't know, maybe it's overly optimistic, but I feel like it'd be possible if, because Breath of the Wild is being delayed, that opens up a slot for potential Odyssey sequel if they're working on it to come out, or just the next 3D Mario thing that's being announced, you know?
So, I definitely think it could be but also Nintendo's lineup for this year is already so stacked. They already have like Pokemon filling up that holiday slot. They don't have like a first party because I mean, Pokemon's like I think second party technically because it's Game Freak, but that which is owned by Nintendo, or like 55% owned by Nintendo,
something like that.
So like Pokemon, it like fills up that slot quite nicely. Though I do feel like they're doing a thing where they were experimenting with Bowser's Fury for a new Mario game, because it seems like a trend at the moment. Like they did it with Legends Arceus, and now Pokemon Scarlet and Violet seem to be using the basis of Legends Arceus, but like with a whole new generation, which is like, you know, the theory that they're testing it with something that they already know that the audience likes, which is Generation 4. They make all the starters like lovable, like fan favorite Pokemon like Cyndaquil, Oshawott, and Rowlet. Sorry, I couldn't think of his name for a second. I just knew
Rowlet fans chirping in the chat right now. Like, how could you?
I know he's a little puntable orb like owl.
He is puntable, that's true.
They used all Generation 4 Pokemon. They had like a bunch of the NPCs basically look like Gen 4 characters. All of the locations were like old school versions of the Gen 4 locations. They had Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which it takes a lot of inspiration from Blowout Blast and is it Battle Arena? Kirby's Battle
Royale.
Arena? Battle Royale.
Yeah.
So like it takes a lot of cues from those two games, which are like smaller mini game sized Kirby games that are like in 3D. And it also, I feel like Kirby's Forgotten Land feels a lot like 3D World as well. So I feel like we're due a game that feels like Bowser's Fury, but it's a full thing, because they tacked it onto a game that they already knew would sell well, because they're like, okay, we're gonna sell it with a game that we already know is gonna sell numbers. Let's see what people think of this little extra add-on that we have that's completely different to the main thing, and see if people like it.
And we did. A lot of people really vibe with Bowser's Fury, so much so that I think a full game like Bowser's Fury would be hype. It'd be so sick. It's like an open, not even open world, but like all the levels are like kind of connected. There's like 5 different maps, and they're all really big, and they have like 15 levels in them, and you can just kind of pick and choose where you go, or something like that. Kind of seems, when you say it out loud like that, basically what Odyssey is in a certain regard, a collectathon on bigger stages that have little mini
Odyssey
puzzles everywhere.
But like the maps, and you're right, but the maps are way smaller in scale than Bowser's Fury's one big map was. Because Bowser's Fury felt like it had like separate levels, but they were all connected, if that makes sense. Like they were seamlessly connected in one world. Like there was definitely like individual sections that were designed to be like, okay, this is a level, they're gonna get like a set amount of stars here, or cat giants, and it's like clearly like, because you'll go through into an area and it will say like a little title like, oh, you're in, I don't know, fucking Meow Meow Isles or whatever.
Favorite part of the game, Meow Meow Isles.
What a game.
So it's like Odyssey, except if you mashed maybe 3 kingdoms together. If that makes sense.
Right.
That
makes sense.
It's the hybrid of Odyssey and 3D World. 3D World had the obby courses. Odyssey had like the big open areas. You take the big open areas and you put the obby courses from 3D World, and that's what you get, Bowser's Fury. Right. Sorry to go on a mad tangent there, but yeah, I think that's kind of what we're on track for.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Jay.
I was just gonna say, I do think there is some. It's just an interesting sort of strategy that we're seeing. It feels like a strategy that we're seeing of companies, of Nintendo specifically and Game Freak, doing these like test games that are not like demos, they're not betas, they're real games that are releasing, and they're using that as feedback to decide, should we extend on this? They added multiplayer to Mario Party to see if people liked online multiplayer and if it could work, and then they released a thing.
Yeah.
Like you just said with Pokemon, they did a test, granted, like you said, 50-50 Nintendo kind of thing, but they did a test game and then released that test game as a full game that people bought to determine, okay, we can now do this with the open world. potentially the same thing with 3D World. I think it does follow that pattern, so it's very likely that they'll do that with that new type of hybrid format that they're creating, which would be cool.
I think it's really smart, honestly. The you know, having a game that they know will sell well by using things that people are familiar with to try new things, because Nintendo is a very stagnant company. They're very formulaic when they come to their IPs. Like Mario has been like the same for a long time. There's like two separate types of Mario games, and that's like the get from the start to a goalpost, and that's the first 3 Mario games. That's 3D World, that's 3D Land, and then there's the open world, not open world, but the sandbox kind of games like 64 Sunshine and Galaxy 1 and 2 kind of are a mixture, and then there's Odyssey. And same with Pokemon. Pokemon is very formulaic. It's been like the same game since its inception. Through Kirby has been pretty much the same 2D side-scrolling little video, like cutesy platformer for 30 years until Forgotten Land, apart with like the odd like racing game in there and stuff. So I think it's smart to take design cues from things that they know work by testing the waters with ideas that they already know work, if that makes sense.
Right.
It's like Legends Arceus. Legends Arceus was such a weird one because it came out in January and everyone was like, wow, they're really going to cannibalize BDSP because they're making this brand new, like, completely shifting formula Pokemon game that's releasing in January. Who the fuck releases a Pokemon game in January? And people are like, what's the deal? I mean, they're probably not going to release a Pokemon game this year because, you know, they want to give Legends Arceus room to breathe. But then they're releasing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and from the looks of things, it does everything that Legends Arceus did, but it's new. Now they don't have to, like, they're not shackled to the idea of having to have fan favorite Pokemon. They can go wild with the idea, which makes it's kind of like how movies work, you know, like how the Sonic movie, for example, very safe movie. It was fun. First movie was very safe, but then it did really well. So their budget got a lot bigger because, like, you know, investors were like, okay, we have more confidence that this is going to sell well. Let's give you more money to make the next one even better. And then you see the marketing campaign for Sonic 2, which doesn't feel very safe at all. It feels very much like this is a video game fan's wet dream.
Yeah, it's more fan service.
Exactly. And they can get away with it because they know the first one did so well that they have like that audience secured already.
Yeah. It's a similar concept to pilot episodes. You know, it's a test to throw it out there, and if you get booked for a season, because they announced Sonic movie 2 and 3 are coming out, but that's a topic for another episode that I do want to touch on, and we'll get there.
Yes,
before I move on,
we'll go into it later.
Certainly. Before I move on, I think, Gab, you had something you wanted to mention.
Oh yeah,
earlier.
it was just about the new Mario coming out, and what I'm really hoping, I doubt it's gonna happen because I don't think that's what Nintendo is going for, but that they go for the Bowser Fury approach, just like Fyrus said, but with a bit of the Super Mario 64 online thing, where you could actually play as a 4-player team and just do your own thing, because I would love to see speedruns of a Mario game where you can play 4 players and everyone can do whatever they want. The absolute chaos and crazy shenanigans that speedrunner could pull with that would be just fabulous. I would pay to see that. Please, Nintendo, please.
Yeah,
sure.
Bowser's Fury had that into a certain regard. I know it was tacked on to 3D World, which was extremely multiplayer oriented, but Bowser's Fury didn't have the same multiplayer that 3D World did, which is strange. Like, it wasn't like you could be 4 different characters on one screen like you could in 3D World. You could be one character, and then Bowser Jr. could be the other one, or you could be playing as whatever. In the same vein of Mario Galaxy, there was no true, real local multiplayer. It was just you, and then Luma would be the second player. They'd play as Luma, or they'd control the shooting the stars and collecting star bits and whatnot. So I wonder if maybe Mario Odyssey, because Mario Odyssey itself doesn't even have that type of mechanic, I believe, where you could just have a second player satellite do things with you. But it would be cool if they introduced a true aspect, like you're saying with 64, where you can actually queue up with other players. Obviously, we've seen in these, you know, Mario Odyssey multiplayer mods, clearly there's a lot of fun involved in it, and people love doing that. So it wouldn't be surprising if Nintendo took an inspiration from that and brought it in to Odyssey. And I want to shift the topic of conversation back to Breath of the Wild for a minute, because I've theorized this before. I think a couple other people have theorized this also, and I just hope it could be true. Maybe there's a multiplayer aspect in this upcoming Zelda game. Maybe that's also what they mean by Beyond, where one of you plays as Zelda and one of you plays as Link, or one of you plays as like Fee. Oh my god, dude. Fee comes back from the Master Sword because the Master Sword's broken. She like breaks out of it. You know what I mean?
No, I guess
she does stuff, and she, you know what I mean? Then she's the other player you can play as, and you're both on the same screen, and she could do certain abilities, and she can guide you to jump through the walls, whatever. Lord knows. It's all speculation because we have very bare minimum to work with, but that'd be so sick if that was introduced somehow.
I would settle for playable Beetle or Urbosa. Which one are the above?
Playable Urbosa. I'm buying like 60 copies of the game.
I'd settle for nothing less than playable Beetle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat Ganon with my unbeatable deals.
Oh my gosh, that'd be awesome. And you know,
so
even
funny.
if it's not even that, just like maybe you're playing in two different time periods where Zelda is stuck in the past, or you know, and Link is stuck in the present, and so Zelda you can go back, switch between Zelda as the second player, and she's going through doing things that affect the future that Link has to do.
Oh,
you know what I mean? I'm trying to think of a game that does that already, something in that concept of time.
There is a puzzle game that exists that that makes use of that, I think, where I can't remember what it's called, but you can do something and then you kind of like reverse the time of an area, and then you can do something and then bring it back forward. It's weird. I can't remember what it's called.
Actually, Skyward Sword has a mechanic like that, where you activate those gems and it like lights up a certain amount that takes place 100 years ago. So maybe it's something like that where because I know what you're talking about. There's definitely a game that has that full mechanic, but I can't think of what it is. But yeah, like maybe it's like that, where like Zelda in the past has to blow up a door that has boulders in front of it in the future, and when she does that in the future, Link can then see all those boulders disappear or whatever, and then he can advance on whatever, and they're both working in tandem with each other. That'd be so cool, and I would open up for multiplayer
For sure.
So yeah, I think that'd be so cool, dude. We could sit here and speculate all day about what what this game's going to be. Ultimately, we don't have anything, but on our original point, I do think this delay is dope, and I think that we have so many other things to look forward to in that time that we'll be ready to demolish that game when it comes out and play the hell out of it and have a good time. And Eden has time to actually play it and enjoy it. You have a year to enjoy it, dude. That's what you need for sure.
You know what games that also got delayed that gonna be good? Silk Song and Metroid Prime 4, please, guys.
Oh, yeah.
I just want that.
Yup. We can hope for that.
I've been waiting so long. My plate is empty. Give me something. I'm starving. It's a desert. I hate it here.
Hayden, I see you have a finger up. Is there something you want to
I was just gonna say, I mean, speaking on video game delays and stuff, you guys remember Duke Nukem Forever?
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that.
You've never heard of Duke Nukem Forever. Oh boy, it lives up to the name Duke Nukem Forever, because you want to know, right? Do you want to know when it was
forever to me?
Well, yeah. Do you want to know when it was when it was announced?
Yeah, when was that?
It was announced in
like
1997. It was announced in 1997. Okay, do you want to know when it was released, Jay?
When's that?
2011.
Wow.
I think this is why people get so nervous about delays and stuff, because games get stuck in development hell. Duke Nukem Forever is like the most famous example of a game getting stuck in development hell, and it's just funny that it was called Duke Nukem Forever because it took forever to be released,
forever to come out.
Because 14 years is a long time to wait from a game being announced to it being released, and the game was not good as well. It was terrible when it came out.
Oh, maybe my follow-up, was it even worth the wait?
No, it wasn't. I'm looking at the ratings right now, and across the boards, they're all 5s out of 10s. There's 3 out of 10, 2 out of 10, an F.
Yeah.
They got an F, and there's 2 stars, 3 stars. It's terrible. It was a bad game, and it took 14 years to make.
Jeez.
The sad thing is Duke Nukem was a very 1999 cool character, but when he came out in 2011, it was like, oh, this is
Dated quite badly. Dated
Yeah.
considerably.
Dang. Well, I think we can rest in the safety that Nintendo wouldn't do that to us. They wouldn't make us wait
Never.
14 years for a 2 out of 10.
You think
know?
I mean, when was the last time Metroid Prime
Don't make
4
me
was
second
announced?
guess myself. Like, I don't know. I don't know, dude.
Metroid Prime 4 announcement.
14 years, it's like my whole lifespan to wait for a game.
I like how as soon as I said, you think so, you went,
Okay,
How
we're
fragile
safe,
my
we're safe.
expectation are for
no, I was saying you think so to him talking about Breath of the Wild too.
Oh, but yeah, Prime 4 was announced first in 2017, so we still got a lot of years, guys. It's fine, it's fine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was announced?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. I thought that was just something people were speculating that they, like, wanted for a really long time.
You
Google says announced on June 13, 2017 during the Nintendo Spotlight at E3. It would be so.
Hey, I'm just saying, 2017. That's already what 1/3 of the way to Duke Nukem.
Oh,
No,
my
I was gonna say that's like,
Like I don't know, man. We're
Duke
getting up
Nukem's in
there.
single digits now. It's 9 years until it reaches Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, yeesh. That's crazy to think about, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I do think it really was surprising, but I'm not a game developer. I cannot speak to what game development is. I don't know what Nintendo's doing, but I really wonder how those changes happen. Like, I understand COVID was an initial delay. It delayed a lot of games. But, like, man, what are they making? Like, are they just, like, developing it, getting to a certain point, and then being like, wait, let's make this even crazier that we need another year of development? They gotta be cooking up something good.
When I was younger, I used to not understand it. I think as a content creator now, I get it. I completely get it. Like, why they would delay things and why they want to put things in the oven for a bit longer, because I do it all the fucking time. I'm like, okay, I'm going to release a video on Saturday, and I release it like 2 weeks later because I wanted to make it as good as I could be.
Right, of course.
I get it. I get Nintendo being like, oh god, it's already 2020 and this game isn't as good as we want it to be. It's the sequel to Breath of the Wild 2. It's gotta be good. And then they could push it out the door and, like, you know, taint the name of Breath of the Wild, or they could give it a little bit extra time in the oven. You know, make sure it gets nice and crispy and, like, you know, season it a little bit. Make sure people like it. It's up to people's standards.
Yeah, yeah. And that kind of happened with the first game, I think. They didn't even have any standards. They, like, already blew expectations when they first revealed it.
Yeah, it got delayed twice. It got delayed twice.
Exactly, which is exactly what happened with this game. As of right now, delayed twice. So
Did this get delayed twice?
it was delayed first at E3 last year, and then today was the second time they delayed it.
I thought this was the first delay.
No, this is the second one, I think.
Yes, the second one, I believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause they had
was
said, "Oh,
COVID
we know
first
you-"
delay, and then there was this one.
Oh.
Yeah, because they announced it and then they said, "Oh, we know you were expecting news today, but sadly we have no news about it." It wasn't a delay on the release itself. It was just a delay on we won't show you anything about it until
so this is
later.
the first like real delay in their shifting
Yes.
when it's coming out. Okay.
Yes, and this is the most. Well, yeah, yes, that'd be right. And this time
they
they actually
only
have a
ever
season.
said 2022.
Right.
And they
Yeah,
never
they
said
said-
any other year apart from that until today.
Right, and then today is the first like date delay, but it is, in my eyes, it is just another delay onto it, similar to the first game. But it's just, I'm wondering because, like, if you look at what they had for the first game, it was very similar to what actually came out, but you could see all the crazy improvements that they made to make the world what it is. But I just wonder, like, the games, what could they possibly be doing that's going to make it so great? Like, this game is just going to be, I can't even begin to fathom what it's going to be when it comes out. Like, and the fact that it's been this long and they still don't have something to showcase means that whatever they are going to showcase has to be so different from what our expectations are. Because what they've shown right now are things that we can comprehend. We can comprehend, okay, it's the Breath of the Wild world, but it's elevated in the air. But maybe they are adding an aspect that changes the time, the time that you go in, which I'm really banking on.
They have like
they
that
just won't
weird
reveal that until
goopy
later.
mechanic.
Goopy mechanic.
Yeah. Do you
yeah.
remember when he phased through the roof? He went.
Oh,
he,
yeah.
Oh yes.
And that looked like it was that was related to time. Like it looked like
Yeah.
he was reversing the flow of time. That's how he went through the ground. Because how else would he have phased through the floor?
Yeah,
Maybe
it's-
runes?
Maybe,
Yeah, could be.
But like, it could be like he's going through the floor because the floor just didn't exist before, so he's able to phase through it or something.
Oh yeah, maybe that's the case.
I was gonna say it almost reminded me of the little drip that happens whenever you get a new rune in Breath of the Wild Current. Like
Oh
you know how it
yeah.
goes like do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Wait, it's so you know, okay, I've played the tiniest bit of Breath of the Wild. It's so fucking funny how understated it is. It's like
Yeah.
do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Oh, I lost it.
I don't know.
Terminal
Could you
montage.
even hear that?
No.
Barely. I could hear it. I could hear it very subtly.
I heard
doesn't
like,
even-
buzzing or like...
Because usually it's like, you know, it's like do-do-do-do. It's like really big and it's like do-do-do-do.
It's like really dramatic, yeah.
That it doesn't even make a sound with the runes or with the what's the names. It just makes a little drop of water that goes, and then that's it.
Yeah.
you get the rune in. So maybe it is some type of Sheikah technology because like we have stasis that makes you stop time for individual objects. Maybe there's something that just makes you like, you know, Doctor Strange style. You know what I mean?
Maybe instead of having, a little drop, they took an actual full glass of Sheikah water and were like,
Oh, yeah.
I messed up the device.
Sorry, I just can't get over how I forgot how understated it was. Because sometimes it's just like du-du-du-dun. It's like really quickly as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just real
yeah.
quick. It's real soft. And like every other Zelda game before it was, the fucking bombastic and like a whole orchestra was doing it.
Have you ever seen the terminal montage animation on Breath of the Wild
I
speedruns?
have not.
He has his fun with that moment of the game where it's just and it just keeps going.
Just goes, oh.
Waiting for like the one little drip, like the tip of a faucet, to finally fall.
That's a nightmare to me. I
wonderful.
hate that. It's so infuriating
The
thinking
drip
about
from
it.
the Sheikah teat.
Ancient technology.
Ancient milk.
That'd be so funny if like you pulled like a water fountain thing where it's dripping and then as it's coming down it's gonna go onto the Sheikah's lake and you're just like and then get it.
That's what he does.
I'm made of bombs now.
That is the timeline shift.
You become Magnesis and you could just do it through your fucking.
Magneto's origin story from X-Men.
Maybe that's what happens, dude. Maybe that's what happens in the game.
This is the Link dumbass timeline. Yeah, that's what it says on the thing. This is where Link caught it in his mouth and everything's changed.
He's just like sitting like, man, I always wondered what would happen. You eat it and you get the map like in your eyes of the terrain.
He like projects the map out of his eyes.
Oh god, I can see the surrounding area. I'm gonna go to Akala Highlands now. Oh my
man.
gosh. Well, on that note, I think we're all very excited that Breath of the Wild is coming out. I know I'm willing to wait for the delay. I know all you guys are too, because we're all fans of the series. We're all fans of the game.
No,
Let us know.
You, Nintendo. Sorry, go on.
Well, no, see that. Well, there's something there. No, I do think it's good that when we get it, it's going to be awesome, and I'm extremely excited and looking forward to it. And I think we would love to know in the comment section what your theories are about this upcoming game and what you guys think it's going to be. We've said some really crazy shit, but I know you guys are crazy too, so let us know the crazy stuff you want to see in the next game. And when you think, predict the day that it's going to come out. I'm going to say March 7th, because that's when the first one did. Maybe it'll come out the same day. It'd be funny. And you know what isn't going to be delayed, however? This next episode of Mouthfools. So make sure you subscribe so you get the notification when it comes out. You're there for the... I only do this for a living. You're there for the premiere, and you're ready for it.
Yeah.
Any closing notes, my fantastic co-workers whose faces don't look like mine now. Thank God.
Put mine back
I
on.
actually think the game's... Oh,
Oh,
not
that's
again.
great. That's lovely. Ending where we started. Ew.
Go ahead, Gav.
I think the game's gonna come out on April 1st, and they're actually gonna do a joke, you know? They're gonna say, instead of actually doing Breath of the Wild 2, we're gonna do a Zelda fishing game, and then you're gonna see Link fishing in Breath of the Wild, and they're gonna be, oh, just kidding, Breath of the Wild's coming out, bam.
I will buy it. I will pay $70 for that game. If it's just fish, hell yeah, dude.
It's gonna be like Mass of the Wild, you know?
I'm all the way for that. All right, thank you for watching Mouthfuls. Thank you for joining me, my co-host today, GG Gabriel Gaming, Daniel Failboat, and Daniel Failboat 2. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching.
You're so white. You are so white. I didn't realize.
I know, dude. It's a problem.
And on that note, we'll see you guys next week. Bye. Everybody.
Bye.
I think Capcom does a great job when they're adding like collaboration characters.
I've never been able to extend this way.
Oh god, I gotta get the helmet on. Oh god.
Wait a minute, our guy's a bad guy the whole time.
I just think it's crazy that I'm better at video games now than when I was like 16.
That is how you fix all the problems with all these games.
I feel like toy distribution is so different than it used to be.
They resculpted over the chest. They gave him a flak jacket over it.
I laugh when I see Among Us, but I'm not having fun inside. It's a reflex.
No, you took my joke.